Hello, my name is Chris Cochran. I am co-owner and business manager for Mo City Produkshunz. And with me is co-owner and CEO of Mo City Produkshunz, E.R.A. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good. As the CEO of Mo City Produkshunz, could you tell me a little bit about how it came into existence?
Absolutely. I pretty much started doing music when I was about 12 years old, and I was just writing to different instrumentals or whatever, and I didn't really get serious about the business side of it until I was about 18, 19 when I came back home from college. And I started with a local label that was ran by some family. That ran its course and everything, and I went to another independent label and that ran its course, and by that time I was up to the point to where I felt I had seen enough to start my own label. And I learned a lot of good things, things to do, things not to do, and everything was a good learning experience. So I took that, started my own label, bought some equipment, and here we are today.
Very good, very good. Now, right now, Mo City Produkshunz is one of the fastest growing record labels here in Detroit. What do you attribute that to?
Just hard work and dedication, man. I almost 20 years been at this, and it shows in the music. People hear the music and it's different from what is played on the radio, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air to some people. And definitely in the time right now where, people are longing for something different, so we're kind of feeding into that.
Okay. Where do you see Mo City Produkshunz being, say, in the next 3 to 5 years?
About 3 to 5 years, I'll definitely see us expanding, definitely cornering the market here in Detroit. Also expanding to one of the various lucrative markets, outside of Detroit, outside of Michigan. 3 to 5 years, hopefully be in a position to challenge, any industry label, as a independent, and definitely, make our name known,
Okay, great, great. Right now, why should an artist come to Mo City Produkshunz?
Well, we operate differently than your typical independent label. One of the main things we do is we definitely make sure that the artists are compensated for their hard work and dedication that they put into the work, into the music. We give them a very generous cut of their music, of their money before we recoup. We take a smaller percentage and give a bigger percentage to the artist. So that's one of the major things. That's why a lot of people is in this for, to do for money. So we definitely want to take care of our artists. You give us the hard work and dedication, and we definitely reward you for it. Another reason, we genuinely love what we do, especially with the music. We put so much hard work and blood, sweat, and tears into just a song, from the creation of the beat, to writing it, to recording it, engineering, mixing, mastering, everything is pretty much done in-house. So, we're not going out to anybody else for these services. it's pretty much done right here. It's just a couple reasons.
Okay. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure, are curious. The leadership here at Mo City Productions is extremely diverse, as you can see just by looking. You're younger, I'm older, you're black, I'm white, side to side and toe.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel that affects the leadership of this company?
It gives a perspective. It gives everything a different perspective. An opinion from a different perspective. Just like you pointed out. Older, younger, black, white. Even though there may be things that we agree on, or similarities or whatever. There's definitely a broad spectrum of opinion, and that's definitely good for business to look at all of the possible angles to where you can make money from, and two heads are better than one.
Oh, absolutely. If you were to look at the Detroit market right now, what are 3 things that you feel are problems here and that Mo City Productions is working to improve upon?
Let's see, 3 things. First thing I would say would be originality. A lot of Detroit artists stick to the traditional Detroit sound, and it's cool, but if you want to get out of Detroit, you have to tap into your creativity, to your originality, and step outside that box, and don't be afraid to create something. You never know what you stumble upon. Another thing would be the unification of the artists amongst each other in the Detroit community. That's one thing I felt that hasn't really been there like it should, over the years. You have certain, people that run together or whatever, but if you look at any one area, as far as that held it at one time, or that dominated the game at one time, Atlanta, New York, California, Texas, wherever, they banded together. It wasn't just 1 or 2 people trying to take on the world. They banded together and went out there as, this is Atlanta, this is New York, this is, whatever. So that's one thing I feel that we definitely need to do. Not just because they did it and was successful. It only makes sense. We're taking on a whole industry, a whole world of music, and just 1 or 2 people saying, I'm from Detroit, that's, it's a long shot to put Detroit on the map that way. So, everybody do their part, and we can definitely be on the map like we're supposed to be, because there's definitely some good talent here in Detroit. You just gotta scrape it to find it. And you said 3 things?
Yeah, come on, I know you know one more thing.
Man, let's see. The third thing, just this overall support from not only the artists, but from the fans and the connoisseurs of music in the Detroit community as well. We need that. If the people of Detroit aren't saying, hey, look at these artists from where I live, from my hometown, they're good. The rest of the world needs to hear them. We stand behind them. We support them, especially if they're giving you the good music, and that falls back on the artist, to definitely put out good music, so that the people of Detroit can get behind you and support you.
All right, that's 3 extremely valid points. One of the things that I'm sure a lot of people are curious about, Mo City Productions is not just a record label. It is such a multifaceted company. What was the purpose in that? What made you go so big?
That's a good question. When I first decided to start my own record label, I also decided that I didn't want to be just a record label. I've always been one who would teach myself things or take it upon myself to learn how to do things. You know, as a kid, I used to, the radio stopped working, I take it apart, try to find out why. Sometimes I fix it, sometimes I didn't. You know, that's always been in me. And when I decided to start a record label, I just decided that I wanted to do more than just music. You know, I wanted to do, excuse me, I wanted to do music, I wanted to do movies, I wanted to do TV, whatever, you know, whatever I could put my hand in. And over the years, I slowly but surely picked up these things, you know, from like web design, video editing, just photography, just a bunch of different things that I wanted to incorporate all into my company. And then even with the naming of the company, I didn't want to go, it took me a minute to come up with it. I didn't want to be just another record label, so I didn't want to do Mo City Records or Mo City Entertainment or, you know, something like that. And just the word productions kind of, you know, put all of that in a, you know, it left that door open. It always left that door open. So when I was ready to step into whatever realm I was ready to step into, it's a production. So it's a part of Mo City Productions.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. One of the things that I hear a lot is people say that, well, you know, you guys are such an aggressive company. First of all, do you agree with that?
I definitely agree. I mean, hip hop is a competitive sport by nature. You know, it's always been like that. So, I mean, if you listen to, you know, my music, I'm competitive in my music, you know, so I definitely agree with that.
Okay. Now I know that, you know, we have a very strong team. And I'm proud of the team that we have and the strength of them. But we've been working real closely lately to build a very diverse and strong roster. Now, one of the things with our roster that is different from a lot of labels is we have a large segment of artists who are 35 and above. Do you care to elaborate on what the purpose or logic was behind that?
Sure. Basically, I mean, it doesn't matter what age you are to me, as long as you're making good music. I definitely give you a shot. And then I definitely wanted my label to show that, you know, to show that that there are people, artists over the age of 30, 35, or whatever age that the younger generation or the industry is deeming the
retirement,
the retirement age to be. You know, that's like, come on, like, I mean, the best artists are still doing it from back in the day. You know what I mean? Jay, you know, Rick Ross, you know, like, older artists are still doing it. So it's definitely people out there who can, you know, so I definitely wanted to be the one who kind of helped change the game and push those to the forefront, you know.
Exactly. If you were to take this time to say in parting to anything to your followers, your fans, your listeners, what is one thing that you really want them to know?
Just get used to us. We been here for a minute. Y'all didn't know. Y'all know now. And we here, not going anywhere. So might as well get used to us. I mean, that's all I can really say.
All right. For all of you out there who are watching, listening, faking like you are, you can reach me directly. Again, I'm Chris Cochran. I am co-owner and business manager for Mo City Produkshunz. You can reach me at 248-416-6425, or you can email me preferably mcp2, the number 2, Chris, CHRIS, @gmail.com. Now, I understand with you being chairman that you couldn't possibly take the number of phone calls, but how can people reach out to you?
You can definitely reach out to me, excuse me, through social media. I'm on there all day, every day. Instagram, Mr. Anderson 313. Twitter, The Machine, that's DA Machine 313. Also Facebook, I'm on there as Eric Northman. Also check out my artist page, E.R.A, aka Mr. Anderson. Let's see what else we got. Reverb Nation. Also, you can check out the official artist page, and that's Mr. Anderson, MoCP.com. And you can go in there and sign up for the artist fan list, and you'll get exclusive offers for tickets to performances, exclusive music downloads, merchandise, just a lot of stuff, you know, to show appreciation for signing up for, you know, the fan list and showing that you do support Mr. Anderson, myself. Also, just Google me, man. Mr. E.R.A, aka Mr. Anderson. Everything will pop up. Also, I want to give a shout out to my partner, my homeboy, my cousin, Jimmy Beats. You know what I'm saying? You can check him out on social media. That's everything Jimmy Beats. From Instagram to Twitter, Facebook, everything. JIMMIBEATS. Jimmy Beats. That's it, man.
All right, again, I want to take this time to thank you. We are looking to hear from you. Make sure that you check out our radio show as well on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Let us know what you think, what you're hearing, what your questions are. We'll be more than happy to get back to you. You guys have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you.